In October of 1953, the Japanese began pushing into the south. Would begin pushing to the South Island, with them quickly splitting the way of this division and the rest of the Australian army, with them quickly taking full control over the southern island of New Zealand, with New Zealand, with them preparing to push into the northern island. So their first attempt would fail. So they would continue, with them hoping to eventually break the Entente army in the northern New Zealand island, and to quickly push to New Zealand. Okay, I don't really know where is the Australian. Even if it doesn't capitulate like the Australia, it would definitely harm them, with them weakening the supply of both oil and iron to Australia. Two resources that Australia would need to continue its support. So even without it, they would disconnect the supplies, hoping to try to weaken the front line with further attacks to try to split the Australian army in the south and the southern northern New Zealand island from the rest, resulting them to die and resulting in a breakthrough with a preparation to quickly take over Auckland, and after that to focus their attention onto other part of the front line. With further pushes being done against this push is quickly occurring. It seemed they would take full control of the northern island, and with that it would leave Sydney even more isolated. The Canberra Sydney line even weaker, with it now being nearly fully surrounded both by the Japanese Navy and by Japanese forces, with them slowly preparing to push out the Australia. Meanwhile, they would attempt a naval invasion of. Oh wait, no, that it is the third international, with the co-prosperity sphere. The co-prosperity sphere would attempt to make push into Diego Garcia to help make the Japanese empire stronger, so it would fail, with it slowly becoming a stalemate. Meanwhile, Russia would do a naval invasion of the Norwegian back line, with them slowly making gains, slowly forcing the Norwegians out. And by February of 1954, the Norwegians would see themselves start to lose more and more land, with them was also being under threat, and with more and more attempts to try to break the front line. Meanwhile, the Russian forces in the north would use this as a chance to begin making, while not any major gains, they would still begin trying to make some gains on front line step in became but before then it was just a full stalemate, with them hoping to gain full control over all of Finland before potentially making gains against Sweden. So it would fail with the Swedish making more attempts to push them back. Meanwhile, the Russians would prepare for more pushes to try to end the war. So far, these negotiations in the south have not resulted in anything except for making the Norwegian line slightly weaker in the north. So it's become clear and clear that it would be unlikely for this invasion to result in any big pushes soon, with the Russians already making plans for potential other naval invasions into eastern Sweden to try to break the front line and hopefully ruin the supply line into the front line between Russia and the Third International. In June of 1954, the Russians had made great advancement against both Norway and Sweden, with them pretty much now fully surrounding Bergen, and with them quickly moving in onto Sweden, with them quickly capturing land, including, they almost surrounded the army, which they didn't surround the army, but they almost did, with them continuing some pushes. Sweden did try to do some pushes, but they failed. Meanwhile, the Russians are now concentrating on a push toward Bergen, possibly the way to try to surround the forces outside the supply lines of, well, Bergen, so they pretty much allow them to move there so they can kill them. Meanwhile, Norway capitulated, pretty much leaving Britain and Ireland pretty much completely alone. I mean, they still have Iceland, like, they have some islands, like, and, like, I guess a few areas still outside the mainland, but most of the land has been taken, with the Russians continuing their push against Sweden and Norway, with them now pretty much forcing their forces onto a potential large-scale just push straight into. Okay, Sweden is starting to reclaim actually a lot of land. I feel like they're using the fact that Russia just kind of banned Sweden for a little bit to quickly utilize into a pretty much big push. So it seems like Russian forces are once again being stationed back south into southern Sweden to try to pretty much push them out. I'm still surprised that no one's trying to just push here to surround that army, or surround that division and kill it. I don't know, I guess they don't want to do it right now. Yep, they're not pretty much quickly killing armies, like killing a ton of divisions in this push. Yep, this is honestly gotta be one of the fastest push. They pretty much destroyed the entire all of southern Sweden, with them now continuing to push into like Norway, with them killing another division and putting more and more pressure onto Norway and Sweden as well. It definitely doesn't help the fact that Stockholm is literally right there. Like, Russia just needs one big push to take Stockholm. And as soon as their forces are ready, they are going to try to use that. There's no way they're not going to at least try something. It seems like their forces, that the Russian forces are already trying to make some pushes into Norway. Not any big pushes, but they're making some local pushes. Yeah, I think this push was just as a way to kind of make him kind of being a little bit more surrounded, to make the capture of the city easier. Russia still have not been able to capitulate the Union of Britain after I went back in time to see how they did it, because I assumed that they would probably be most away there. Nope, it literally happened in January 1st and they capitulated them on January 21st. I don't know how they did it so quickly. Anyways, yep. The Russians are now just making a giant breakthrough now. Yep, they pretty killed the armies here, with them now pushing here to kill even more of the parent international army. Yep, boom, there we go. Yep, they're now fully focused on one big push. Okay, they're trying another division. They are quickly pushing more and more eastward. Yeah, Sweden's making one successful push here. They took that. Only problem Everything else, they lost every other battle pretty much. And now it seems like they're just kind of trying to make some gains. Okay, honestly, the Russians are leaving the southern front abandoning. Russia might soon begin to concentrate more and more against the Swedish army, just kind of... Oh, nope, and there goes. The Russian forces are here now. Yep, okay, yep, he did try to push there. That failed. Okay, never mind, maybe. Okay. Okay, now honestly, a constant back and forth. Both sides are trying to fight for this city. Yeah, they're actually making... The Swedes are actually making a comeback, which is surprising. Very good, they're really outnumbered, but the Russians are, I think, underestimating them a whole lot, trying them to be able to make some gains. So yeah. Okay, Russia is now going to try to kill another 2 divisions. That might be the real reason for that, but seems there's a real reason. I don't know. Especially when you could just, you know, kill them. But I mean, I guess they wanted to kill a few more divisions just to make sure they're weak enough. This is gonna just turn to Sweden and Norway constantly trying to push, with them losing a whole lot of men, or well, a lot of pushes. I'm not really sure by who. Might be has something to do with the fact of making this. I'm not actually sure. But yep, this turned into a bloody mess. Meanwhile, the USA, both the Entente and the USA don't really have a whole lot to do, except for wait for the certain national to country fall, either that or try to do a new invasion of Ireland. Russia's making some pushes now, so not any big ones, they're just making a few pushes, you know, they feel like there's enough so that way they can kind of make sure that Sweden don't take control of any states except for, well, honestly, any more states except for the one that they already have with them. I mean, probably just doing that to just make sure that Sweden don't do a big push and take control of the state. It seems like they really are just trying to make them slowly bleed themselves to death. As you can tell, it is succeeding with them slowly getting bloodied. Yeah, like, which would, man, that, I mean, they even have scrap in the barrel if that isn't enough, because they are really just rushing the front line with enough, with just sheer men. That's really their strategy now. They're just rushing the front line with a ton of soldiers to try to slowly push them out. But, yep, not working. Oh, yep, Russia now doing their counter push now that Sweden has weakened itself enough. They made rapid new gains, including taking a few major... Oh, okay, I thought that was the end. Nope, it's going to continue to push. They just took a small break too. Yep, okay, they killed a few other divisions. Yep, it seems like Sweden now going a lot more defensive after that big collapse of the front line. The Union Britain, I think, is still trying to support Sweden. The only problem is that of, you know, kind of hard when, yep, they're still fighting. Okay, I don't know what you were honestly fighting when you did that. They lost Stockholm. They haven't capitulated yet, but yeah, they're going to capitulate. They have no supplies. They have no men, and they have some men, but like 5,000. Really low amount of men, and they're just going to keep losing more as they just lose more and more ground. Yep, and the Union Britain army now going to get murdered here. Yep, there goes the Union Britain army. Yep, they've been killed. How many soldiers do they have left? They lost 8. Okay. Russia is now just gonna focus solely on its push into the United Kingdom. I am surprised they're not trying to push into Ireland first. First of all, to kill any British forces there, not to just simply, you know, just launching base for a potential like multi-frontal naval assault. Like that could easily supply a naval invasion here and here, which could easily result in the entire UK just kind of being besieged quickly and like killed. Now first Ares is at how much support? Yeah, 11%. We should compare all them maybe 12% potentially, but at least 11%, which do mean that they could potentially grab this one and maybe a little bit more, potentially a little bit more. And I can be like, oh yep, they can grab more land. No, right now they're mostly gonna have all South America. I mean, unless the AI does something weird like the Russian AI rather than grabbing all Germany, just leave this area to be covered by someone else and go to French Guyana, which does make sense. So I'm curious to see if Russia might do something like that. In the time that passed, the Japanese peace deal with the Entente gaining Hawaii, which the U.S. quickly take back, but also gaining like Australia, like which would really help the Japanese. Meanwhile, Hyderabad took control over Tibet with the Japanese. Now I'm not really exactly sure what to do. They have multiple areas they could attack. They could either demand Hawaii from the US, but with them giving it back, that seems unlikely. Or, and this might be more likely, they might try to attack Indochina to try to pretty much take control over, like, not only using this as a chance to do a second war against, honestly they would probably just do it as a way for a second war against China to try to like take control over China again. If they succeed or not, I mean they might. Also Russia still hasn't done anything. At this point, I'm apparently considering just letting them, just force them to win, because Russia did win it for a little bit before we went back in time, because I was like, hey, I was wondering, how did Russia do that? I don't think, I mean, they were probably close to winning around that time, but nope, apparently just very quickly just quickly took out the UK, like, impressively took out the UK, like, I'm not even sure that's even possible, to take out the UK, you know, like, that was generally impressive. Now until it's just becoming a war of attrition with the UK, like, factories just slowly getting bombed to pretty much death. Every once in a while it gets supplied back, mostly to support from like both from their own factories and also from factories worldwide, with yet the Russians just doing nothing, just letting the British rebuild, which is annoying because that pretty much can mean that Russia's probably not going to be able to successfully naval invade them, because I'm not even sure what their army is actually doing. Oh my goodness, they need more. Yeah, I'm wondering why they're not just kind of shoot numbering their way through into like a success. Yeah, I'm still wondering why they're not just doing that, but I don't know. AI do be doing some weird stuff sometimes. After some time passed, the Union and Britain finally capitulated, with Britain being split, with the British Isles being split between Argentina, the Russian Empire, and Northern Ireland under the Entente. Iberia is being split between Catalonia, like Southern, like Argentina, like the Russian Empire. Pretty much everything's just split between those. I don't know why I'm trying to explain it anymore. There are two paternal autocrats, Germany. Oh, hold on. pretty much have Western paternal autocrat and Eastern paternal autocrat. Literally nothing really changed. That's the only difference, the fact that I think this one is a monarchy. So we have monarchist paternal autocrats versus non-monarchist paternal autocrats. It's kind of weird that they made a paternal autocrat, especially because, you know, Argentina itself is a nationalist populist, but they just kind of turned to a paternal autocrat. We have the British Republic under the Russian kind of rule. Argentina released some of the countries, including Ireland, the Spanish state, Sardinia, the African land, and Sri Lanka and Papua. Pretty much not a whole lot, but they have released some lands, with them taking some colonies or some lands in the Congo and southern Zambia, with them also controlling Scotland. So there's that. The main reason for the team being so strong, though, number one, the IRL, you know, our team is actually pretty strong. Well, have strong geography, just not strong when it comes to a whole lot of things, just due to the fact of, you know, Argentina not really being governed the best. But in this timeline, I mean, it seems like they've been governed a little bit better, and also probably definitely helped the fact of America being weak, allowing Argentina to quickly rise. So now we have the Argentinian kind of empire with bases in Europe, Africa, Oceania, and, well, of course in South America. So we have a pretty much strong Argentinian empire, and as you can tell based on the ideology map, most of the road are just paternal autocrats, to be honest. There's very few lands that are, I mean, even most of the lands that are not paternal autocrats are because controlled by Argentina, the nationalist populace. So pretty much Africa, nearly all of Africa, except Eastern Africa, is paternal autocrat and nationalist populace. Same kind of go with Europe, with Russia's kind of just. I am surprised Russia didn't release Greece as an independent nation. They just didn't. You have Serbia. I assumed that they were going to get more land. No, the Danube Federation got more land. Which, imagine being Serbia and you literally don't get any of the land that you help take over. You don't even get Bosnia, or heck, the bare minimum of literally even a coastal area. I mean, western coastal area. You literally just get Macedonia, and that's it. You literally just get the Macedonian area. Turkey got more land. The Danube Federation got more land. They're both puppets. I feel like at this point, if I was Serbia, I would just literally just join the Argentinian faction, because, I mean, your life is probably horrible. Might as well just see what the Argentinians have. Yeah, so pretty much this Cold War is going to be divided between paternal autocrats, nationalist populists, and market liberals. So pretty much we have also paternal autocrats. Can't forget the paternal autocrats. You have the paternal autocrats, the nationalist populists, and the market liberals. Literally only America and Argentina are not, the only really major countries that are not paternal autocrats. Hold on, I want to see how many major nations are ideologies that aren't paternal autocrats. Hold on. Okay, a little bit more than I actually expected. So again, they are kind of there are some of them, but the problem is the fact that they only have a whole lot of sphere of influence. I mean, the paternal autocrats conquered Europe, conquered Eastern and Southern Africa, conquered Eastern Asia, or a good chunk of Eastern Asia, and while I don't really have any big amount of land, I do have some land in the Americas. So yeah, in this timeline, you just have a very strong paternal autocrats with, even areas where not paternal autocrats, it's generally nationalist populist the most likely ideology, so yeah, this world is definitely going to be interesting. I like in kind of like, on the R timeline, where, you know, generally the road was divided between like FDR, United States, and like Soviet Union, where especially at first both those countries were generally economically left wing. I mean even America was, I'd say, center left when it comes to economics. This timeline, you have two right wing ideologies fighting for control over the road. So yeah, this is definitely gonna become interesting. Like, honestly, if this fight kind of translates into a Cold War, it'd be interesting to see which one would win between Argentina and the Russian Empire, especially because none of them really exactly have just one united. Especially because while Russia isn't the advantage, like Argentina is likely to at least somewhat call in America potentially. So honestly thinking about it, yeah, actually kind of thinking about it last night. Oh man, it would be cool. The Moscow Accord would win just because, you know, just look at the Moscow Accord. Like, Buenos Aires access is definitely good and definitely a good amount of land, but Moscow Accord, they're going to win. So I don't really know what else to say because, you know, I'm pretty sure I kind of said everything I kind of wanted to say. So see you guys next time.